Okay.
YouTube
Welcome
doesn't lie very well.
everyone to the first ever BBB podcast. Or for all of you guys who are tuning in, I'm keeping a look at you on my phone here on YouTube. So far, we have around 6 people watching. We also have 7 people on the call, so I'm not sure if it's just us who is watching this video. But I hope more people are going to tune in. We're just going to wait for a little while, and then we'll begin. But for all of the people who are joining us today, I want to tell you that firstly, welcome to the Bangalore Bong Bikers YouTube channel. Um, a lot of our riders are planning to go on a trip to Ladakh sometime next month. And we thought, it's going to be a good occasion to get everyone together and talk to you about what does it take to actually plan a trip to Ladakh. Starting from your bikes to your fitness, the route, budgeting, where are you going to stay, things to expect, and a whole lot of other cool stuff that we're going to share with you on this podcast today. Many of the riders here have done the Ladakh route in the past, and then there are also many people who are doing it for the first time. But then there are people like me who have never done Ladakh and want to do Ladakh at some point in time. And I felt I'll be best equipped to ask all our experts here perspective from someone who has never done a Ladakh ride. And I'm sure a lot of you watching would relate to the things that we discuss. Now, without any further ado, again, officially welcome to the first ever Bangalore Bong Bikers podcast. This is the ride to the top of the world, Ladakh, where we are seeing 6 riders who are going to go all the way from Bangalore to Ladakh. But then there's a lot of things that we're going to discuss. Quickly introducing everybody on the podcast today, we have Mrinmoy, Satyajit, Gaurav, Ribhu, Dina, and Dipra. Thank you guys for taking out time today on a Sunday, and it's great to have all of you here on the show today. All right. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but I think it's really important that we first talk about who we are. So we are all members of Bangalore Bong Bikers. We are a biking community based out of Bangalore, primarily Bengali people, but we have members from all across different states talking different languages. Everybody who's made Bangalore a home, and we do a lot of rides together. I want to quickly ask Mrinmoy, who's also the co-founder of this group, to tell us a little bit more about Bangalore Bong Bikers. When did it start, and what is it all about?
Hey, hi Neil. Welcome all for the first episode of BBB podcast. Bangalore Bong Bikers journey started back on 2017. 2017, when uh, on daily work life we get bored on weekends, and we were figuring out that what should we do. And we, some of our friends, we had a bike, and then some random person on a random group asked that, okay, if there are any people who will be going for a bike ride or want to a bike ride. Then we responded, myself responded, and some two three four people others responded, and that was our start journey of this group on 2017, most probably on the month of December. And we did our first ride at TK Falls, Bangalore, Banarghatta. And from there we started this Facebook group, and then people came on joining, and we became what we are today. And from 2017 December, it's currently 5 years done. On 2022 we completed 5 years of our club. We are now more than 3,500 people on Facebook, more than 500 on WhatsApp. Okay, and we have done lots of rides, but I don't prefer to say rides, I prefer to say lots of events, lots of memories we have done together. And we have, what we have become is it's not a community, it's not a group, it's a family. We have an extended family. There are maximum number of people, those who are out from their home, uh, came here to do jobs, and they have their extended family over here as Bangalore Bong Bikers people. So it started with a Facebook post. We replied them, we reverted them, and then this journey began. And till now, we have done lots of rides around the country. We touch wood, we should go outside country also, but we have to wait and watch. But that is the start of journey on 2017, and 2023 is still the beginning. What I think is still the beginning. It's still 1%. We want to become the like biggest community ever in India, and that's it. And this year some very memorable journeys like Spiti, Zanskar. This year it is happening Ladakh, then Gujarat, entire coastline journey. Lot of journeys, a lot of stories are there to share. Yeah, Neil, over to you.
Awesome, Ranmaya. I mean, thriving community of almost close to 300, 3,000 people, 2,500 on Facebook, 500 on WhatsApp. And I also have been a part of the Bangalore Bong Bikers group for the last couple of years, attended a couple of rides. And every time it's such a great experience because you get to meet new people. You get to meet a lot of people who are on the same wavelength as you, and you get to form new friendships. Now, very quickly, for all of our viewers who are watching this and who are not already a part of Bangalore Bong Bikers, how do they become a part of our group?
So we have our social media presence everywhere. We have an Instagram page, we have uh, a Facebook page as well as a Facebook group. Okay, our group is more active. Facebook group is more active. We have a Twitter handle as well. We have a YouTube handle as well. Wherever you can, you just ping us, or one of the admin will ping you back. Okay, and we will get you added on our WhatsApp group. Okay, there are a little bit of checks, okay, where which we do, and post that you can just hop in any of our rides. Okay, we keep on posting our rides itinerary on our WhatsApp group. Just hop in. There is no nothing like that, like you have to come, you have to do registration fees, or nothing like that. You have to have only two things. One is willing to drive, willing to ride, and the second thing is a willingness to make friends. If you have these two things, then you are welcome to Bangalore Bong Bikers and make be a part of this family. That's it. You any social media, go and search Bangalore Bong Bikers. It's Bangalore Bong, Bong, Bong Bikers, and then you search it. Just ping any of the admins will message them, and any of the admins will get in touch with you and get you onboarded on the WhatsApp group.
Fantastic, awesome. Although, I always wondered what the bong in Bangalore Bong Bikers meant. But I think that's a conversation for some other day. But having said that, Bangalore Bong Bikers is not just a biking group as well. We have a newly launched driving group called Bangalore Bong Motorheads, who just did their first drive today. We also have an anglers group for people who are into fishing. Fishing. We have people, who want to sell stuff, buy and selling group. And overall, it's a great community if you want to like network with more people all around. Now, moving on to the whole point of today's podcast, that is Ladakh, and I would like to invite Shotsujit Da here to talk to us about what this ride is all about. So we know that the group is going on a ride to Ladakh next month, but Shotsujit Da, you've been to Ladakh before, and you're also going on this one. I wanted to know from you, what is this ride all about?
Thanks everyone for inviting me, and thanks everyone who has joined today's podcast. So any hardcore petrol head or diesel head or a hardcore rider, he always dream of some destination. And if you're in India, the destination is none other than Ladakh. So if you are a hardcore rider, someday you will have a passion to ride to Ladakh. It's not like a destination, it's like your dream, it's like your passion, uh, it's like your dream that will be fulfilled to in one of the most challenging terrains as well as most beautiful locations in India, not only in India, I mean in the entire world. And a couple of places, I mean, those are called death roads of the world. So it's not like it's a easier cheesy one, but where there is a hardship and where there is a toughness, then that part you will enjoy more. It's not like a boring highway journey. I mean, you can ride in 100 above 100 kmph for entire road. reaching a destination that won't be registered in your memory for a long time. But when there is a challenge, when there is a difficulty, when the views are changing in every nooks and corners, that's what Ladakh is all about. It's a dream. It's a dream for the riders. It's the ultimate destination. It's like attaining nirvana when you are reaching Ladakh with your bike. It's not like you are going on a car. You have to go on a two-wheeler. Four-wheeler will move your body, but as they say, two-wheeler will move your soul. So you have to move your soul. You have to go to a visit a place called Ladakh and its surrounding areas, and that's all the ride to Ladakh is all about. Yeah,
Very,
over to
very,
Niranjan.
very well said. In fact, it's true that two wheels actually move the soul. Um, Shotita, if you could tell us a little bit about who are the riders who are going, what are the dates that you guys are going to go to Ladakh?
I mean, Ladakh has a very short season because there is two routes by which you can visit Ladakh. One is via Manali and second is via Srinagar. And when you are passing those areas, there are a lot of high passes. So a pass is a most highest place connecting between two mountains. So what happens as because these are very high, the altitude is very high, and they are adjacent to the Himalayas. From October to May, the entire regions is now, I mean, entire regions is fully covered with snowfall, and all the high passes gets closed during this time. So if you're planning to travel, then you have a very short time. The time starts from May onwards, and it ends in the mid of October. And the month of July and August is a little bit of rainy in certain areas, but Ladakh is more of a desert sort of climate. But while visiting, I mean, if you're starting from Delhi or if you're starting from Manali, those regions receive rainfall during the month of July and August. So the timing of this journey is very important for the success or how beautifully you are going to enjoy this place. It shouldn't be like that you just reach the place and it is raining incessantly. That will entirely ruin your experience. And the vistas, the panorama, the background, the color of the areas around Ladakh is best when it is not raining. I mean, uh, be it in Ladakh or be it on the way to Ladakh. So definitely, I would say that I mean, if you are going to visit that, you select some place when it will be dry, and the best time is starting May, when mid of May to mid of June. This is a very good time. Why? Because you will be able to see snow all around. If you are visiting in the month of October or September, the weather will be very good, the sky will be very good, but you won't be able to see snow anywhere. I mean, if you are a bit lucky, then you can see some snow at some high passes. But if you are visiting in the month of May and June, you will definitely see beautiful snow everywhere in all major passes. You will be able to see the snow. And people who living in, I mean, non-snow areas, those people know the importance of snow. When they reach those places, it is full of snow. I mean, you know how people enjoy with the snow things. So I will definitely say that if you're planning, then definitely plan your journey in the month of mid of May onwards, because prior to May onwards, if you're thinking about start of May, certain places open up, but sometimes still snowfall happens and the high passes gets closed. So if your schedule is very tight and if you don't want to get stuck, then start in mid of May to mid of June. This is a very good time, and plan accordingly. Book the tickets, and this is the time when you will see majority of the riders all over India. Not only India, even people come from our neighboring countries, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, even European riders. They will be coming in during this time only, because that is the time when you will be encountering massive snowfall everywhere, and as well as the sky will be clear, because you need both the things. You will need snowfall and a clear sky. You don't need a white sky, you need blue sky. So when you will be visiting Leh during the month of May and June, definitely you will see blue sky, and all the mountains in the entire area will be fully covered with snow, and with the morning sunrise or the late evening sunset, it will be dazzling like golden color. So I would suggest, I mean, whoever is planning, then start in the month of May. If this is your first time, or if this is your second time, then you can definitely opt for month of September or October. And one more thing, June or May or June, weather will be comparatively better in the terms of temperature. The temperature will be optimum, but going ahead, I mean, in the month of October or November, it will be very cold, especially during the nights. It will be definitely sub-zero temperatures in the Pangong region, the Serchu region. Maybe if you are going to Hanle, those regions, all those high altitude which is having a height of more than 15,000 feet, they will be having sub-zero temperature. And if you are not accustomed to that level of temperature, then you will definitely suffer. And second thing is, as because this is a very high altitude, there is a scarcity of oxygen. So a lot of people, they suffer from acute mountain sickness in those regions. I mean, I have seen, especially in Sarchu, in near to Jispa, a lot of people, they needs to take oxygen. There is a lot of BRO support over there who help you out, giving out oxygen. So uh, you have to plan. I mean, because I mean, there are challenges, there are roughness, there are hurdles from nature. You have to plan this journey well ahead of time and prepare yourself and the bike prior to your journey. Otherwise, you may suffer, your bike may suffer, and your entire journey can be ruined. I mean, you don't want your journey to be ruined by your bad weather or your bad health or your bike breaking down. So there is high chances anything can happen, but you have to get yourself prepared, both mentally, both physically. You have to do a lot of sort of exercise prior, and I mean, if possible, not mandatory, but if you're doing some sort of exercise, some cardio related exercise, then definitely it will help you out in acclimatizing in the high altitude regions. That's the starter. We have a lot
Oh,
of things to say, but
yeah.
I don't want to make people bore with these lectures.
No, yeah, no, no, no. Thank you for that. A lot of things that you actually need to, consider. Ladakh, well, one of the reasons why, most people want to go there is because it's so beautiful. But it's also probably the ultimate test of man and machine in our country, right? And a lot of it is also down to the preparation that you do. And we're going to talk about all of those things. It might sound a little scary, but we have experts here who have done it in the past, and we're going to break down every single thing here. Before I proceed into the video, if you're liking this video, please smash that like button, share this video with someone who you think is going to find it useful, and of course, subscribe to the Bangalore Bong Bikers YouTube channel. Also, live chat on YouTube is live, and you can put in your comments, any questions that you want to ask the experts over here, and I'm looking at it and I'll ask those questions on your behalf to them, and hopefully you should find some right answers. um, you know Whenever we think of motorcycling, and nowadays there's just like a bike for every segment. We have like tourers, ADVs, cruisers, cafe racers, etc. And of course, there's always an ongoing debate as to which is the ultimate bike. And I'm sure a lot of you who are seeing this video would agree that, the best bike is the bike you have standing in your garage right now. But having said that, we have Gaurav now on screen, who's going to tell us about you know the machine that's going to move your soul, as Shatruja was saying. So Gaurav, welcome to the show. I wanted to ask you a few things about our machines in general, right? What's in your opinion, what's the kind of machine that's going to take you to Ladakh, right? Do you have any preferences, or have you seen people kind of succeed on a specific type of bike? And then we also want you to talk to us about maybe some kind of maintenance tips, let's say 5 things that every rider should do with their bike before proceeding on to a trip like Ladakh. Over to you, Gaurav.
Well, thanks, Neil. I just want to make sure my audio is proper, and you guys are able to hear me okay?
Yes, fantastic. We can all hear
All
you.
right, all right. So first of all, I think, thank you for inviting me for the live broadcast, Neil. and I really want to thank the founders, especially like Satyajit and Mrinmoyda, for finding a being a core member of the group and promoting the rides, and I mean, like, always uh, dealing with a lot of technical questions in the group, and really promoting the way we live when we try to choose the rides, and always ensuring there is a mentorship. So BBB has a lot to offer. Uh, we all know that there are many groups, in common across in Bangalore, but I think this is one of the unique group where really learn and mature yourself with all the technical stuff that keeps on being on the discussion. And I think it helps you to prep well before any kind of a ride, let it be a breakfast ride or a long ride. So I really want to give a shout out to both of them for being the founder member and also promoting this kind of rides. Coming back to Ladakh, I think Ladakh is obviously a dream ride for every biker. It is, of course, challenging. You heard Satyajit about, the terrain that you're going to face. He also spoke about the fitness that's required. He also spoke about, bit of highs and, downs that needs to be considered before, you head for the ride. So really, I think it's going to be a beautiful terrain. It's going to be a beautiful journey, and I really want to congratulate and welcome all the riders. Also wish them all the best for opting for this ride this year for BBB, and raising our flag in Ladakh this year. Hopefully, we'll have more rides in the upcoming year, and we do something which is almost similar to what we are doing here right now. Uh, Talking about the bikes, I think more than the bikes, it is about the rider, how he gears up for the ride. And I think there is no restriction, I would say, that any bike, let it be a ADV or a cruiser, that can go till Ladakh. It could be also a sports bike, right? I think there is no such thing that I have seen, which gets classified when it comes to a Ladakh ride. I have been, really seeing around my friends, my, couple of close relatives, and people around who have really done, Ladakh ride on a ADV, on a sports, and there is a good composition of all the types of bikes, right? And I think one shout out that I want to give to one of the rider that's heading for Ladakh is Deepra, who is going on a RR 310. I think it really needs the guts because it's a sports bike. Really, he's trying to get accustomed to the ride and the terrain. So I think a big shout out to him. But other than that, we have CB350 Highness, which is made by Honda, about 350 cc, churns at about 21 PS of power and 30 Newton meter of torque. So, having that kind of a torque range, as well as, when we see a bike like FZ, which is having, uh, lesser amount of torque range, I think uh, everything can do. But what is more important to, uh, know about the bikes is how you want to build your bikes for that kind of a terrain. How do you want to make sure that, it when you hit those terrains, the bike withstands the terrain. Uh, I'm very sure you're going to see a tarmac run, you're going to see a lot of gravel, a lot of river crossing. So a lot more to prep up with respect to keeping those things in the mind, which you're going to face. You need to have a better tire. You need to have a better clutch plate. As Satyajita was mentioning about, you're going to see a lot of high hill climb, and you're also going to face a lot of gravel on the road. So, having a better, setup for your clutch plate, better, engine setting, you have to check your, time chains. You have to verify your, air intake, whether, it's neat and clean. You also have to check the assemblies in your bike, right from the nuts and bolts of your chassis to the suspension to the, handlebar. etc. and etc. Plus, the most important part is the electronics in the bike. I think those plays a very important role. Nowadays, whatever bike we have, it's heavily influenced with a lot of electronics to, face these kind of weathers. And if anything goes wrong, then, it becomes very tricky to, rewind it and then, correct something on the go. So I would really say bike doesn't really matter, how which bikes do you choose to take it on a Ladakh ride, but it's more, dependent on the rider, the preparation that rider is doing from the bike perspective, and also, from the health and fitness perspective, how he's gearing up to face those kind of weathers, so that, he can be, he shouldn't get any kind of interruption, and then, keep on going and, face those gravels and terrains and complete the ride.
Awesome.
Yep.
I had another question, right? Like, you said that, hey, here's a checklist of things that you need to kind of like figure out. But what if, it's someone like me who's firstly a noob at motorcycling, extremely lazy when it comes to figuring out my own machine. Is it enough that I just take my vehicle to the service center, get it sort of like a general service done, tell them that, hey, I'm going to set out for a long ride? And maybe just get a couple of spares? And if so, what would those spares be?
Yeah, so Neil, a good question. I think first of all, a general service is obviously recommended, right? And it really depends on what is the age of your bike. If it is pretty old, you need to think a lot, because in the years that you have used the bike, you really need to think about, okay, what has gone wrong, right? So really analyzing, scanning the bike, think about, what is wrong in the engine, really listen to the engine well. If something is cranking within the engine, head up to the service center and rectify those things. Something which is within the engine could be the piston ring. If your, bike is actually consuming a lot of engine oil, right? That means there is something wrong, right? Something which is not, not correct on the engine cylinder. It might be, got roughened inside because of, a lot of dust consumption, or anything that has happened over, let's say, like last 5 years that you're driving the bike. So really think about, a general service, and the general service comes with a package of, what has happened in the history of the bike. So really think about those. But on a normal sum, I would say really look at the clutch plate, right? If you have been riding a new bike and you have been, like, doing a lot of rides in and around from your place, and if you see, you have been using it for a down, uphill and a downhill, and then you're already hitting a lot of off-road terrain. That means, have you revved higher when you have done these rides? And have you, by doing this, have you burnt your clutch plate, right? Are you seeing a low power, right? If you have your clutch plate, burnt or, misaligned, I think that is one of the most important one, because in the Ladakh ride, you're going to, face a lot of uphill, right? And for uphill, if you're not seeing the pickup, then, it could be a problem. Other than that, I would also suggest, look at your drive chain, right? When I say about drive train, it's about, the engine gear that's connected to your sprocket assembly of the chain. Look at the gear teeth, look at the smooth finish of the gear teeth, lubricate it well. And I would also recommend, carrying another set of a chain assembly, which could, if you're like seeing any kind of breakdown on the go, you should be able to, at least have that chain sprocket assembly that you can go to any kind of a local garage, and then, offer him with, the assembly part, and he can change it. Other than that, probably the suspension. I think that plays an important role, because in the Ladakh ride you carry a lot of luggage around, along with you, uh, and that might makes your bike heavier, right? And, of course, when the bike is being heavy, the load transmission is going to happen on the suspension, directly. So your load is directly proportional to the suspension, right? And if you are not taking care of your suspension, I mean, like if you're seeing your suspension has a play, your swing arm has a play, that means, there is definitely something to do with it. So really look at the joints of the suspension, which is connected to your swing arm and to the main chassis, right? Apart from that, as I was mentioning earlier about the electronics, right? We do need a fog lamps, right? And we do head to, like local garages where, they do these kind of assemblies. And many of the times, if you're going to a mechanic or an electrician, who doesn't know the electronics of the bike, he can, do some kind of a local assembly and screw up your electronics, right? All the new generation bikes, I think these are, well designed, well oriented with, all the cable trays and assemblies that it has. And if anything goes wrong, it chokes up your fuse. And if anything that keeps choking on your fuse, I think that's very, very, uh, very, very dangerous for the Ladakh ride, right? So when you're fixing the fog lamps, when you're, fixing up blinkers, when you're fixing up your, let's say, the mobile charger on the bike, I think you should be extremely cautious to get to a best and the best mechanic or the electrician who knows exactly what he's doing, right? I would highly recommend do not play with your electronics. It can, lead to any kind of interruption over and over, and it can, spoil, the overall intent of the Ladakh ride.
That's great. So, we have spoken about uh, the various things that you need to consider, but then there are a couple of questions that are coming up on live chat when I thought pretty interesting, right? You mentioned about the CB, Highness CB 350, but does displacement actually matter? For example, right, can you do a Ladakh trip with a 100cc motorcycle, or no, you need to have like maybe 250, 300cc motorcycles and above? What's your take on that?
Uh, Good question. I would really say you can do, I mean, like, again, I would reiterate what I said. Uh, you can do Ladakh on any kind of bike, right? We have seen personally, like, companies like, I mean, like Ather, they have been sending their bikes to Ladakh. Companies like, TVS, they are doing, at the lowest segment of their bike, they are doing Ladakh rides. So really, it depends on the rider rather than the bike. And displacement is actually your throttle play, right? And it has more to do with the load that you carry on the Ladakh ride, right? So all these three elements are very, very important. You have to make sure that your load is very well adjusted to the weight that you're carrying for the ride. You have to make sure that you are able to flex around the bike. And when it comes to a displacement, if your core of the engine is good, you can do a throttle play and make sure that you're able to handle the load and the flex or the maneuver that you need during the ride.
Awesome. So I think, we've got a pretty much good idea about kind of motorcycles that we need to take. Essentially, it's like I said, like any motorcycle that you have should be able to do the job as long as you can take care of it and prep it for the ride. And we also spoke about some of the things that you need to, check, maybe like check your oils, check your brake pads, check your clutch plates, check your electronics, etc. And it also boils down to the kind of weight that you're planning. And we're going to talk a little bit more about packing and luggage and luggage systems in the sections that are coming up. But I believe Satyajit Da had something to add. Over to you, Satyajit Da.
Okay. See, as Gaurav said, that any bike can do it. Yeah, definitely any bike can do it. But there is a very popular saying that there is no replacement for displacement. But when in 2011, I went on a CVZ. I mean, 99 model CVZ. I mean, it did struggle a lot of times, but still, it took me to Ladakh. Okay, so that was quite an old bike. It was 1999 manufactured, and in 2011 I took it. Almost around the 12 to 13 years old bike. But I was riding all alone, and still the bike took me to Khardungla top. In 2018, this time I went with a FZ, okay, Yamaha FZ 150cc, and this time I went with a pillion and loads of luggage. Okay, I was expecting that it will suffer a lot, but still it managed to take me to the top. Again, Khadungla top and a lot of other places. But uh, I have to struggle at a lot of places. I have to play with the throttle. Uh, I have to throttle hard at certain times. I had to wait with my legs in some places. Then only it took me to the top. Okay, in 2022, I mean last year, I went there with my KTM 390 Adventure, and again with loads of luggage and a period in the form of my wife. And this time it was the most easiest for me. I mean, the bike climbed all the terrains, all. I mean, there are a lot of gravel filled roads, there's a lot of water filled roads, but it easily managed to overcome all those terrains. Whatever is thrown in, it was able to easily conquer all the terrains. But that's what my take is. I mean, yes, definitely you can go on a TVS Ntorq, you can go on a XL100, you can go on a Splendor, you can go on a Pulsar 150, you can go on a 1000cc bike, you can go on a ADB, any bike can go. But I would say try to get a bike that is sort of 250cc and above. Why I am saying this? Because it will it will be less involving for you to ride that bike in that terrain, and it will take you more effortlessly. The point is effortlessly. See, the Splendor can also take you to there, but you have to work out the bike. There will be places where when the bike will be not able to climb the terrain and you have to push it. There will be some places. And if it is a carbureted bike, see, there are two type of bike. One is carbureted bike. The old bikes, those are carbureted bikes, and the newer generation bikes, nowadays bikes, those are called fuel injected bikes. If it is a carbureted bike, it suffers a lot. Why it suffers? Because due to lack of oxygen. If it is 100% oxygen where you are living, then the amount of oxygen reduced to 60% to 70% at high altitude. That's why the power drops. So if you have a smaller bike, let's say you have a 100cc bike, and if you have a reduction of 30 to 40% of oxygen, then 100cc bike will behave like 60cc or 70cc bike. But let's say if you have a 250, 300, 400cc bike, even after 30% reduction of power, then also you have got a ample amount of power that will pull you and your bike and your luggage to the top easily. So that's the point. I mean, yeah, quite obvious. The bike, small bike, will also take you to the top. But if it is a big bike, I mean, 250cc and above, then it will take you more effortlessly without you working it hard to reach at the top. It's not, I mean, at those high altitude, even if you're walking for 50 meter, it will feel like you have run for 1 kilometer. It's all due to the lack of oxygen. Your body also loses power like your bike. So when pushing a bike in those terrain is not an easy task. Even if your bike has fallen down, with all the luggages, it will be almost impossible for you to pick it up by all alone in those terrains. You need help from one or two of your friends to pick the bike. So the point is, if you have a bike that has, let's say, 20 bhp and more, some torque around 20 newton meter and more, then uh, you'll enjoy the ride. I mean, it's not like that you won't enjoy on smaller bikes, but here it will be more effortless. I mean, you won't be struggling hard with the bike, and you won't have to work so hard to take the bike to the top. And especially in very high altitude, like Umlingla, where it is 19,300 feet, where oxygen is very less. Some smaller bikes, let's say 150cc and below, where the torque is 14 Newton meter or the power is 12 or 13 bhp, it will struggle like hell. Some bikes, especially the carbureted bikes, definitely it won't be able to climb Umlingla Pass unless and until you are doing some sort of modification to that bike. So there are a lot of tips and tricks which you can do on a carbureted bike, by which you will be able to reach the top, but not everyone can do it. So it's not everyone's cup of tea to modify everything on a bike. You want a bike that will effortlessly take you to the top. You just need to ride it. You don't need to be a mechanic with struggling with the bikes, making changes. That will ruin the experience. So when you are going to Ladakh, you want to enjoy the ride. It's not like you are taking all the tools and everything, and you are every day morning you are fixing it. then it will ruin the experience. You want a bike that will effortlessly take you to the top without giving you a lot of hassle. There will be hassles. Even a big bike will can face a lot of problems, especially the puncture issues. Let's say if you have a bike with a tube type tire, and if it get punctured, then it's a nightmare, because in a lot of places within 100 kilometers you won't be able to get a people leave the garage. You won't get a pupil in 100 kilometer who will fix your puncture. You have to know how to fix a puncture. So those things are different. But if your engine doesn't have a good amount of grunt, good amount of power, then it won't be an easy task for you. You have to play with a lot of things, and I will definitely tell that at this point of year, I mean 2024, always try to go there with a fuel injected bike, not a carbureted bike. But if you're going with a carbureted bike, then make sure that it has got a lot of power, maybe 350 cc and above. Then it will climb out easily. But if it is 150 cc and carbureted bike, then you have to work out a lot harder. If you have a 150 cc Pulsar, let's say 10 years older, with a carbureted bike, definitely it will lose so much of power that in lot of places you have to push the bike won't go, bike will start and then automatically it will be killed. I mean, the engine will automatically switch off. It will start and switch off, it will start and switch off. You can see a lot of people, lot of videos in YouTube where similar things had happened, where people bikes started and then engine got stopped, or it is starting, but whenever you are giving the throttle, the bike is not pulling you ahead. So the selection of a bike is important. And also, Gaurav told that you have to be very careful with the amount of luggage you are carrying. The lesser the amount of luggage you are carrying, the more enjoyable your journey will be. The more the amount of your luggage, the more struggle you will face at certain point of time and place. So try to optimize your luggage to the best possible way. Don't carry excess luggage which you won't be using. Focus more on the important luggage. You don't need 10 t-shirt, you don't need 10 pair of jeans. Just two pair of t-shirt, two pair of jeans is more than sufficient. Think about the more critical ones, like your riding gears, your rain gears, your tools. I mean, when you're going there, definitely you need tools, because you don't know when something will happen. You have to be careful whatever things you need to carry, and whatever things you will be carrying, it will add up to the weight. So that's very important, how much planning you are doing and how much weight you are saving. And in certain places you have to carry fuel as well. So if you are already bulked up before the start of journey, then where will you place the jerry cans? So you have to have a lot of places emptied up so that you can carry all those things, like you placing your jerry cans, placing extra water bottles, all those things you need to carry. Yeah, you have to carry your raincoat, you have to carry gumboot, because there will be a lot of water streams. So if you don't have a gumboot, then uh, putting your legs on those chilling water, maybe at 3 degree, 4 degree temperature, it will instantly give you a shivering effect. So those are a lot of things, a lot of planning which you need to do. But one more big important point which I want to see: never go to Ladakh with a brand new bike. If even if I bought a brand new bike, I will definitely say ride it for at least 2 to 3 months or 4 months, get accustomed to it. Then only you take the bike to Ladakh, because a new bike, you don't if you don't know the bike, if you don't have an idea how it works, how it performs, how to use the throttle, how to use the clutch, then definitely you will suffer like hell in the high altitude area, especially with the clutch. I have seen new bikes, brand new bikes, their clutch getting burned in Ladakh. And once your clutch is burned, there's no other way. You have to find a pickup van, and you have to tow the bike to the nearest service center. And that will be the most unfortunate situation you will face even if these things happen, because the bike won't be going ahead, and what there is no other choice other than to return. So you have to be very careful at this point. And if your planning is good, if you are good in your planning, proper planning, then I think your journey will be successful without any issues. And even if you have faced any issues, I think if you have the right set of tools and right set of spare parts which you are carrying, then even if you are, like you said, Nilanjan, that I am a noob, I am a layman, I don't know how to repair. I mean, let's say you don't know how to repair, but if you have the spares with you, then at least somebody will help you. There will be a lot of places who are more than willing to help you. BRO is like God over there. Anything happens, BRO will help you out. They help you with giving food, they help you with oxygen, they help you even fixing your bike. So if you have the right set of tools and right set of spare parts with you, even if a layman or a noob who doesn't know massive about your bike, be it technically or how it works, doesn't matter, because there will be some person who will be knowing it and they will help you out. And people in Ladakh are very helpful. Those people, I mean, their courtesy, I mean, their hospitality is next to anything. So I think leave the fear ahead, do proper planning, carry all the gears, only the important gears and spare parts and tools, and definitely you will have a grand time in Ladakh. Over to Nilanjan.
That's really awesome, and the point that you mentioned about BRO, I think people don't talk about it as much as they should. But the kind of roads that we currently have going into Ladakh right now, it's changed. I think even as recent as maybe like 15 years ago, it was, I would say, you need nerves of steel to sort of traverse those paths. But now I think the roads are amazing, and I think the thing that usually comes across, and I keep seeing a lot of the photos that all of you share are those quotes by BRO, which are across different highways. So, open question to everyone here, right? Do you have like a quote which you saw and you thought, wow, this is like so good?
Don't be a lama in a land. Don't be a gama in the land of lamas.
That's amazing.
Driving is risky after drinking whiskey. There was
Yeah.
a lot of very good taglines. You'll enjoy the taglines of BRO. They are hilarious.
I think for anyone who's wanting to start an Instagram account, I think it can be a great idea. An Instagram account filled with BRO quotes. I think it's going to go viral.
True,
Just one
true.
question related to biking, and this is a question to everybody on the panel here today. And it's a more of a sentimental kind of a question, right? All of us here who are going to the trip on Ladakh have decided to go on it on our own bikes. But of course, you have a lot of maybe options from Chandigarh or Delhi or areas nearby where you can rent a bike. So, what's everybody's take? If you're going to Ladakh, should you do it on your own vehicle, or it's okay to rent a bike there? And if so, what are some of the things that you need to look for?
Okay, I think I'll answer this question. So first, if you're a true biker, okay, if you're a hardcore biker, and you are running petrol rather than oil in your veins, then you will never opt for a rented bike, because your bike is like your kid. You like to enjoy your kid. Like to enjoy with your kid. You don't want to play with other kids, right? So I would definitely say whatever the bike is, you should always go with your own bike first.
Yeah.
Second point is regarding renting. There is a lot of challenges regarding renting. If you are planning to go to Ladakh, Ladakh has a lot of restricted zones which is heavily guarded by Indian armies. Okay, earlier, I mean, just 2 years back, all those areas needs to have a dedicated permission that needs to be taken from Leh DC office in Leh. Without that, you won't be able to go any of the places, visit any of the places. Now, I mean, 2 years back, there is no such thing. Only just environmental fee that needs to be given. Uh, but since this is a security area, there are a lot of restrictions still in places. And second thing is, I mean, if your intention is, let's say, if you want to rent a bike from Delhi or Chandigarh, you can rent a bike. Let's say you want to rent a Himalayan, you want to rent a Dominar, you can rent a Himalayan or Dominar. But the biggest challenge is you can take the bike till Leh town. Okay, so Ladakh is a district, and Leh is the headquarter of Ladakh district. When people say Leh Ladakh, it doesn't mean anything, because Ladakh is actually the district town and Leh is the headquarters. So if you are not going to Leh Ladakh, you are going to Ladakh district. Okay, so what happens is, let's say you have a rented bike and you rode till Leh. Okay, fine, nobody will stop you. But once you are visiting, I mean, you want to visit the adjacent places from Leh onwards. Let's say you want to go to Khadungla Top, you want to go to Nubra, then there are some checkposts that is made by local people, and they will restricted rented bike outside Jammu Kashmir. So if you have a Delhi bike, DL bike, they will restrict that bike from flying ahead. They will simply say you can't take a rented bike from this place onwards. Then you will say why? They will say if you want to go in a rented bike, then you have to rent our bike, that is from Jammu and Kashmir, or from Leh town. Mostly the JK10 number plate. All those areas have JK10 number plate. So if you have a JK10 number plate rented bike, they will allow. Their point is, if you want to rent, then rent from us, because their business period is just 6 months, and they want to do the most of the business during that time. And if you are bringing your bike from Delhi, Chandigarh, or somewhere else, then they are losing very critical business. That's their point. See, this is not an official thing. This is entirely unofficial thing that is done by the local bike rental agencies. They have their own community, they have their own association. They won't allow you, even for four wheeler. If you want to take a four wheeler, rented four wheeler, let's say Zoom car, they won't allow you post lay. So the point is, don't try to do that. And if you want to do that, let's say you want to go to Leh with a rented bike, then rent it out from Leh. Let's say you took a flight till Leh. From Leh, you took a rented bike, then you can go anywhere where you like. But if you are planning to rent it out from Delhi, Chandigarh, then no. You can go till Leh, but post Leh, nobody will allow you. And no means no. Uh, that's the biggest point. Whatever request you will do, they will not hear. So that's a problem.
So, yeah, nicely said. Those are the technical difficulties that you will face if you rent a bike from anywhere else other than Leh. But I have a different take on it. Okay, see, your bike you know in and out. Okay, and when you go for a rented bike, okay, and you will you won't have 2 3 days to go and test the bike. Okay, the bike will never tell you in a span of 15 to 20 minutes test ride that bikes are everything is good. Okay, sometime or the other, because you are going on those rough terrains, something happens. Okay, it will actually cause you lot of things, but for your own bike, you know what are the, if there will be any issue, you know those things. And obviously your your own child is own child.
Yeah, we
uh,
actually have a
Others child
question.
are others child.
We have a question regarding this very point. Shotrita was saying about Chandigarh and Delhi. Are there similar issues from renting a bike in Manali?
Same issues. Yeah, same issues. They don't allow. See, from Manali you can take a bike till Leh, but post Leh it won't be allowed. And if you want to go there, you go there. From Leh, then you have to rent one more bike, visit all the places, come back to Leh, then take the Manali bike and come back to Manali. This is possible, but then again it will be
So
costly,
it's
right?
only JK10 number plate, right? So the only JK10 number plate which is allowed
JKT, most
anywhere.
probably now it is a new union territories. If the number has changed, I don't know now. But earlier it was JK10 number plate only.
But no such issues if you were to take your own bike and go. People are not going to like stop you.
Correct. If you are taking your own bike, I mean, if it is a white and black number plate, nobody is going to stop you. But if it is a yellow black number plate, definitely you will be stopped and asked.
Okay, got it. And we also have a lot of questions coming up about luggage and how to optimize luggage. And I think it's a good segue for us to move into our next section with Ribhu. Ribhu, welcome to the show. You've been patiently sitting here listening to all the other experts for quite some time now, and I think it's now time for me to address a lot of the questions that are coming towards you. Um, I want you to talk about rider preparation, right? As a lot of the experts have mentioned here, that going to Ladakh, of course, maintain your bike, etc., but it's also going to be a task on your health, right? So if if I was planning to go, and let's say I have several vices, let's say I drink a lot of whatever, right? I eat a lot of stuff. Are there some health changes, some lifestyle changes that I need to go, or can I just like turn up the way I am and go to Ladakh? What do you think, Ribu?
Hey, first of all, Neil, thank you. Thank you for introducing me, and thanks, Bangalore Bong Bikers, for giving me the opportunity to be live in here in the podcast. Uh, so, coming back to the question on my riders' preparation, so I will say that Ladakh journey is a preparation for your mental and physical. Both of them you need. Okay. The mental and coming to the physical preparation, like yes, fitness is one of the most important thing that we need to look for the Ladakh journey, because it's a endurance test for you. Because at a stretch of say 10 to 13 days, you will be daily riding some 200 to 250 kilometers daily. Every day you'll be riding that much, and it will be it's not a plain tarmac road. So it will be simply a little bit of tarmac, mostly of off road, up hills, and you might be getting snow patches also. So for those things, your endurance is the most important thing, and that matters a lot. So I will say, yeah. So for riding preparation, fitness, you can start with. I mean, it's better that you start with some exercises to improve your health. If you are a lazy ass rider, someone like me, so you need to build up your health a bit. Okay, you need to go around, have a little bit of running exercise or walking, bit of cardio that will help up you in such kind of areas where there are lack of oxygen. I mean, less oxygen, and Ladakh is one of that terrain where you will be seeing less oxygen mostly. And yeah, and along with the exercise, it's better if you do also yoga, some back exercises, some glutes or legs exercise. So such kind of exercise, it's better for you. Apart from that, if you are a hardcore smoker, or I will say if you drink, not occasionally, but weekly or frequently, then it's better to I will say it's better to avoid. But sometimes it's tough to avoid for hardcore smokers or drinkers. So it's better if you can reduce your smoking or drinking instinct. So that will give up your lungs a bit of space to breathe in and out in such kind of places where you have less oxygen areas. So yes, so smoking and drinking people. So it's better to give a check before you have a ride, and it's always preferable if you are able to stop that. So this is one of the important thing for rider preparation, I will say. So apart from that, uh, so mentally preparation is important. So mentally preparation means you should be planning is one of the most important thing, as Satyajit said earlier also, and that planning is one of the most important thing in your Ladakh ride, because it keeps your mind fixed on whatever the route you are following and how you are planning to reach your destination and when time to start. There might be a lot of terrains where might be a lot of difficulties you might be facing. So be preparing you mentally that okay, I might be facing, and you have some backup plans for those. And whatever the route you are traveling, follow properly or follow thoroughly on the route that you are traveling. Watch there are a lot of videos in the YouTube you might be getting on the routes on the Ladakh. So follow those routes. uh, know about the routes where you might be taking some halt or might be difficulty for you, and how you are going to prepare for that, where exactly breaks you need or where exactly night stays you are doing. So such kind of preparation, the routes are very important, I will say. Next, I will say, yeah, I think Gaurav also covered this, like the bike you are picking up and basic DIY for your bikes. See how to keep an eye on how to, you should be knowing how to change the clutch wire or the brake wires, or a minimal way of how you can repair a puncture if you are riding a tube type tire. Such kind of basic DIY is very important. But if something happens with the plate burns, or if your chain sprocket issues, then at that time you might need to go to the nearest local shop, service center or shop to get it fixed. But basic things, it's better to have an idea on and have your hands try on beforehand. Next, I would say like the food supplies. Okay, so uh, you might be halting for breakfast or lunch, but sometimes you might be facing some issues where you are stuck in middle of your way. You don't have any people or villages around you to give you food supply. So for that, instantly you can have chocolates or protein bars you can keep with you, as well as you can also, it's better to keep dry fruits also, because that will keep your body warm. Dry fruits. And that is a small trick, like if you can also carry some raw garlic. That will keep your body warm enough, I think. And yeah, so such kind of
I
foods.
remember, when I was in school, there used to be this trick. So we used to cut open an onion and keep
Uh,
it under our underarm, and body temperature would increase. And we would say, hey,
Correct.
we have fever today. I'm not going to go to school. So does garlic work in a similar fashion?
Yeah, so it heats up your body. Like these are all root vegetables, I would say. So it keeps your body warm enough. So such kind of food supplies are very helpful, and along with that, it's always preferable to take some instant energy giving. Either you have some instant energies like Red Bull or Monster, such kind of drink, or I will always prefer having Glucon D. Okay, because it's from childhood we had it. Even in our sports season or anywhere we are feeling low in energy, we pull some scoops of Glucon D in a water bottle and we drink it up. That's very important. Like you carry some Glucon D or such kind of instant energy giver solution to you. So these are some kind of food supplies you can prepare while you are, I mean, you can keep while you are preparing for your riding to Ladakh. Next, I can say like some medicines, like in terrain like Ladakh, people might mostly, I mean, face AMS issues, that is acute mountain sickness, and that cause you vomiting, nausea kind of feeling because of low oxygen and low pressure areas. So that's why a little bit of medicines are helpful, like Diamox, such kind of AMS. To get rid of the AMS issues, you can have some Diamox. You can carry some pocket oxygen cylinders that are readily available in online, I guess in Amazon and all. You will be getting that. So pocket oxygen, so that you can carry if you are feeling like you are going low in breath or low in oxygen. You can easily put that up and you can have it. And along with that, first aid, everyone should be carrying their first aid kit, like painkillers or anti-vomit or some medicines like Dettol or such kind of bandages, cottons, band-aids. So these are the basic things or the first aid things that you should be carrying. These are one of the things, I mean, will help you while you're facing any difficulties in Ladakh, right? And yeah, so these are the basic things. And I will say one thing is always carry cash, because you won't be getting a lot of ATMs in Ladakh area, Leh Ladakh area. So it's always helpful for you if you are carrying a lot of cash with you. And if you are facing any emergencies, or if you are stuck somewhere in the local, you might be finding a local servicing shop. You might not be getting UPI everywhere where we get in Bangalore. We go for UPI and we scan it and give it, but it's not an option, a clear option in such kind of terrain. So carry cash, and keep a proper phone connectivity, because in Leh Ladakh area you won't be getting proper connection for prepaid ones. Okay, so always prefer for postpaid. And for postpaid also, there are two or three providers that are very good in such scenarios, that like Airtel you might be getting in Leh, or in Nubra, or in Pangong. You will be getting proper coverage for Airtel. But if you are going more remote, say in Turtuk, if you are going to Hanle or such kind of areas, you will be getting good connectivity for Geo or BSNL. So, and all of these are postpaid
Is
sims.
it
You get
is
all of
it
them for the
BSNL
same thing.
like 3G, or have they moved on to 4G, 5G?
It doesn't matter if it's 3G or 4G. You are not. We are not looking for network connectivity. We are looking, I mean, for Wi-Fi
Speed.
or
Yeah.
data. It's mostly for calling purpose only. So even if they don't provide 2G, 3G or 4G, but it will give you proper connectivity to the network. Like you can call somewhere for help, or you can text someone. So such kind of connectivity, it's Airtel, Jio, or BSNL they can provide at that too in a postpaid one.
So
And
yeah,
yeah,
just one interesting point, and an additional question on this. Most riders, as you said, may face this issue of lack of network, right? So is it advisable to, let's say, download maps
yes, yes.
prior
So
and things
that's
like
my
that?
second point. That's my
Okay.
next point. I was just coming into it. Like, uh, always download the map, because you know that such kind of areas you might not be getting internet connectivity. Okay, so it's always preferred and it is recommended to always download the maps. So download the maps of Ladakh area, offline maps, preloaded in your phone, so that it doesn't affect your journey, and it doesn't affect your zeal or enthusiasm while you are traveling to Ladakh. So always keep your offline maps ready in your. You have options in Google Maps. You can download it offline, download it from there, and keep it ready for you. And the last and the foremost things is carry documents, because there are a lot of checkposts you will be seeing throughout your journey, and every time you might need to show your license or registration card or any kind of other ID proofs for such kind of areas. So always carry like couple of, I mean, 4 5 or such kind of printouts already prepared with you, that have your details of such details like your biking details, your pollution checks, your insurance coverage, your and your driving license, such kind of Xerox copy or photocopy. Keep always carry like minimum 5 you need to carry for each of such things. Or if you can summarize all those things in a one for particular one photocopies, then you can carry together. But it's always preferable to carry such kind of photocopies, so that you can easily give those photocopies to the checkpost guys or checkpost personals there, and you are free to go. Every time you don't need to open your luggages, you need to pick up your cards, or you need to pick up your IDs and you need to give it up. So yeah, these are the basic, or I will say the foremost things are for the preparation of the Ladakh trip, or the uh, biking trip to Ladakh. If anyone has any other things, they can add up. But yeah.
Okay, quite review. You covered a lot of things. Okay, regarding medicines and all those things, I would say, uh, if you are going in a group, I would say, don't have to carry all the medicines, everyone. For the entire group, you just make out a list and carry the common medicines for the entire group. So it will reduce some of the luggages. Only carry the medicines which you are taking as part of your prescription. Let's say you have some sort of ailments or disease or something, and you are taking regular medicines as prescribed by doctor. Only take those medicine, and for the entire group, carry a common medicine pool. So in that way, you are reducing some sort of luggages, and every person don't have to carry every medicines for himself. And second is this AMS. No, this AMS thing is very acute over that place. So you have to be very careful not to get hit by AMS. If you don't want to get hit by AMS, then couple of things you have to check in, or you have to follow. Like, your body needs to be warm. I mean, the entire body, not only your torso, your head, your hand, your legs, every part. Your body needs to be very warm. Then you have to drink a lot of water if you want to acclimatize soon, or you want to get acclimatized faster way. Then you have to drink a lot of water. Why does drinking water helps in those places? Because any source of water or any water has dissolved O2 and hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. So this dissolved oxygen, it will mix with your blood somewhere, and it will fit some oxygen into your blood cycle or into your body. So that's the reason it usually helps. I mean, drinking a lot of water, it usually acclimatizes. And second thing is, if this is your first time, if you plan to go to Ladakh first time, it is always recommended to go via Srinagar route. Why? Because Srinagar route, while you are going by Srinagar route, the climb, the altitude gain which you will be getting is gradual. The highest altitude will be roughly around 15,000 feet by Srinagar route. But if you are going by Manali route, then it will be around 17,500 feet, and there are a lot of high passes all along this Manali side. So it is always recommended, if it's the first time you are planning, then start your journey via Srinagar route, and while return via Manali route. Then in this way, your body will get acclimatized to high altitude by the time you reach Leh. Okay, so normally what happens now, when you go to high altitude, your body adjusts in lot of things. Especially gradually, they will be increasing lot of red blood cell. So when the RBC increases, it usually binds with more oxygen, and it gives you better oxygen supply in the low density oxygen area. So when you are riding till Leh, I mean, by the time you will be reaching Leh, you will be exposed to a medium level of altitude, and by that time your body will be accustomed to that altitude. RBC will be produced, and acclimatization will happen. And other than that, I mean, you can carry some this medicine, like as Rivu already told, Dimox 500. This is a very good medicine. it helps in quick acclimatization. You have to take one in morning and one in evening. So it will help you to get a good quick acclimatization. And uh, you can't play or you can't escape this AMS. This is very important that you, whenever you face or whenever you feel that you are hit with AMS, don't hide it. There are a lot of people like, I'm a bodybuilder, I can't have AMS. I'm very healthy guy. No, there is nothing like that. Any person can have AMS. So whenever you are facing AMS, don't hide it. Discuss with the team. If you have a huge problem, then visit the nearest BRO medical facilities. In the BRO medical facilities, they have oxygen supply. The first thing they will do, they will give you oxygen for 1 or 2 or 3 hours. And the moment you feel, I mean, if you are feeling better after having oxygen, then you can continue the journey, or else it is recommended that you return back to lower altitude. So in that way, you will be safe. It's not a good idea to continue your journey with acute mountain sickness. In that way, you yourself will be in trouble and your entire team will be in trouble. So don't do that, and take these precautions. And I think your journey will be good. Thanks, Rivu. Over to Neil.
Awesome. And I was just noticing the clock. It's 9:12, and we have been speaking for almost an hour. And I hope everybody watching this podcast have found the things to be useful. And if you have, please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and share this video with your friends. We also have some interesting questions in our live chat. We're going to take up shortly. The discussion that we've had so far is like, hey, Ladakh is not a simple ride. There are a lot of planning involved. Bike maintenance, physical rider maintenance, mental health, things like that. And it feels very much like Agnipath. And Agnipath was also a movie of Amitabh Bachchan where there was a character called Vijay Dinanath Chauhan. We have our very own Dinanath Thakur, who's on the show. I'm very, very sorry for that bad segue, but I thought it might lighten mood up. But we have Dina here. Dina, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. You've been here for a long time, and you've also done a lot of rides with Bangalore Bong Bikers. Today I want to talk to you about, or rather ask you about luggage systems, right? We have some questions here, even in the live chat, where people are talking about luggage, not just clothing, but the system that you have in your bike. And I believe that the group went on a shopping spree last night. We also have riders like Dipra who are like equipping their RR310 with luggage, which is
Yep.
usually a challenge. So I think luggage is going to be a very interesting point. Dina, I want to ask you, when you think of luggage, what are some of the basic things? And I'm talking about luggage systems, right? Whether it's a backpack or a tail bag or etc. So like this, are there some basic things which you think every rider should have in their arsenal?
Hey, hi Nilanjan, thanks for inviting me here. And yeah, I will be joining this ride with my FG 150cc bike. So for luggage, before that, I'll go for the safety gears actually. So in case of safety gears, there are a few things like we need to carry. So first thing is your helmet. Yeah, for helmet, it should be your full face actually, and helmet it should be like good quality helmet protecting your head in case of any kind of crash, and riding jacket also like for protecting your upper body. So for as well it's like this riding gears in case, so it should be made of your durable materials and good ventilation CE approved armor for your shoulder, your elbows, back, and your chest. And the next thing, riding pants. Yeah, so like most of the riders opt for knee guards, so that's fine. But if you can invest in riding pants, that will be great. So that's gonna protect your low body, especially in case of any accident or crash. Again, it should be made of durable materials and with armor, so which is going to protect your knee and hips. Riding boots, yeah, again riding boots is it should be a protected and your which like Yeah, waterproof one. Today only we went to Decathlon for this riding purchase and all. So we bought so many things from there, and we bought waterproof boots as well and gloves. So gloves we bought like around normal gloves, which is like a full protected one, and we need to buy one winter gloves as well. In so as Sapita and others said, right? So this Ladakh trip is not going to easy. So the weather, it will be at night time. It will be too windy, right? And it will be the cloud. Sorry, this one. So for gloves, you need to use your winter gloves and yeah, along
You
with
know,
that you yeah,
yeah,
hello.
I just like to interject here. I remember, when you mentioned Decathlon, we get a lot of great products there for really affordable prices. I remember this one episode that I had once in Decathlon here in Bangalore. And I had also gone to buy rain gear, and I basically asked one of the representatives, "Hey, you know what? You have like all of these amazing gears. When are you going to start having motorcycling gear?" Right? When are you going to start having motorcycling jackets with armor, gloves, etc.? And they told us, see, Decathlon's policy is that whatever we sell, we need to have end to end. So if you were to have motorcycling equipment, we also need to have motorcycles in our store. To which I said, you also sell horse riding equipment, but I don't see any horses. So it was a very funny exchange that we had with them. But having said that, helmet, riding jacket, riding pants, gloves, either you go for a semi-continent or a full one. But want to ask all the riders here, do you have a preferred brand that you go to? And have you seen that there's one brand or one type of jacket that's consistently given you good results over multiple rides?
Hi Neil. See, I myself like Rhinox. Okay, I have a Rhinox jacket and Rhinox saddlebags. I have tried and tested that. Their customer experience is good. Their after sales service is good, and quality is also pretty good. Okay, so Rhinox may be an entry level brand. Okay, for normal bikers, normal budget bikers who have a like tight budget but they want good protection. The Rhinox is a well to go brand. There are other brands also, Alpenstein. There are other a lot of brands which are at a higher end. They give you very good protection. They will cost you a little bit more, but for me, it's Rhinox. Like it's always a go-to Rhinox brands.
Awesome. And for all of you guys watching, of course, it's not a sponsored video by Reynolds. I mean, we hope that they sponsor us at some point in time, which is why I'm trying to get our experts to talk about some of the brands. Like personally, I use Solace, and it's done me, very good service. I recently had an accident as well. But just echoing Dina's point, if you aren't fully clothed in the motorcycling equipment, in case you have an accident, you may find it a little difficult to walk out of that. So, make and brand and quality aside, I think just the very reason we need to wear riding, motorcycling jacket and pants and shoes, etc., is for our own safety. A lot of people even say things like, "Hey, you're going to office. Why are you wearing a riding jacket or why are you wearing gloves?" But accidents can happen anytime at any speed, which is why having a good quality riding, equipment around you is definitely going to be useful. Back to Dina. Dina, I would like you to talk a little bit about the luggage system that you guys have incorporated for this ride.
So yeah, for luggage you can opt for saddle bags, and there are other bags as well, like tail bags, tank bags. For tank bags, like you can store some useful thing. Like I personally use tank bags for keeping gadgets like camera and other stuffs, which I can use frequently. And in case of tail bags, saddle bags, you can keep your things like your essential stuff like clothings. So as everyone said, right? So we need to carry less weight if you need comfortable ride, if you want to enjoy this ride, right? So saying that, you need to bring less luggages, And right, for bags like tail bags, you can opt for like according to your requirement. You can opt for 45 liter, 50 liter, and more like 75 liter like that. So we bought 55 liter Rhinox has been made. I said right, Rhinox brand we mostly use, and we bought a Rhinox tail bag, and it has like three compartment where we can keep our luggages like separately. Right. So along with that, you can carry other luggages as well, but it's better to keep less luggage, and which will give you comfortable ride. And yeah, I have already in my bike FG 150. I have everything set up like crash guard and saddle stay and all. So luggages it will be easy for me. And for Deeprandas, as you already said, right? We yesterday when we bought the new luggage system, and we were setting in his bike, right? And it was well fit, and it was easy actually, so that you can tie also. And while carrying the luggage, you should keep bungee cords so that you can tie your luggage properly, so that while riding it should not shift here and there.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
want to add one point,
Go ahead.
Neil,
Yes.
on the luggage part. So it's like many people, many riders will tell that okay, you travel with less luggage, less luggage. Okay, yeah, it is very important. You have to optimize your luggage while traveling on a motorcycle. Okay, now how? A very important thing which Satyajit told earlier. You can, when you are traveling in a group, try to distribute certain things, very small things people normally ignore. Like for example, a toothpaste, one person can carry, and the rest of the group can share it. Okay, there are a lot of like these things. Okay, now t-shirts. Okay, how many t-shirts, how many denims you want to carry. So a lot of people will carry certain clothes which they will never wear on that particular trip, because Leh Ladakh is a very cold place, and uh, you will not perspire much more. But yeah, sometimes you may, but maximum time you will not more. So your clothes getting dirty is not an issue. So try to optimize on those things. Okay, the small things like your toiletries, like your thing, some things which can be replaced by a use and throw. I i suggest don't carry it. Go buy from there, use it, and get it done with. Okay, don't engage your space on all those things. Very essential, like do you do a listing, and then you strike it off what you need, what you don't need. Okay, sometimes you will think that okay, I need all of these things, but actually you don't need lot of things. You will be needing only either 60% or the 70% of the total list what you have created. So that is very important. Like getting your luggage optimized, very optimized. Okay, and one more question to Dina. Dina, like for example, now as you are traveling to Ladakh, okay, and then so what's your plan? Like how many days? If it's a 14 days travel, how many t-shirts and how many denims you are planning to take?
You already said right that not to carry more t-shirts, even like if it's dirty that's fine. And morely we should carry more like warm clothes, right? So yeah, warm clothes I'm going to keep like five, six, kind of innerwear we can use, and on top of that we can layer up and then jackets. So yeah, that t-shirts and all the shirts I'm not going to like for photography that's fine. For a few minutes you can wear fancy dresses if you want, right? And do photography, then again
I'm
you need to
I'm sure all of you guys who are going to go there, in terms of photography, are probably going to wear these Bangalore Bong Biker t-shirts.
yes,
Quick
yes,
plug-in,
yes.
guys. One of the perks of joining the group is you get a t-shirt, and if you want to wear this black t-shirt with this awesome print, then please feel free to join the group. Another question I wanted to ask, and this is a question also asked in the live chat by Sanchayan Guha. Um, and they have mentioned, is it good to enroll for roadside assistance? So what I understand is, apart from, let's say, your service aspect of things for your motorcycle, there are these services that kind of have a backup van where you put all of your luggage, so that none of the luggage is on your bike, and then you're proceeding, and then this sort of backup van follows you. Is it a good thing to do?
Let me answer. Okay, so let's say your group doesn't have any experienced person at all. Everyone is sort of fresher, noob, haven't done any sort of high altitude rides. They doesn't know the terrains very well. Maybe they are uh, 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 not familiar about the region, how it is, how is the weather. Then I would say if there is a backup van trailing you, then it is always a very good choice, because traveling alone with your bike without any luggage is always easier than traveling with, let's say, another 30, 40, 50 kilo luggage added to it. And moreover, in any case, if any of the bike fails, then that bike can be towed on the same pickup van. So I would say this is a good choice for people who are not that experienced, who doesn't have that much of idea about that region. But people who are experienced, who knows how it works, people who can work it out like simple problem, who can fix it on their own, they can definitely ignore it. But for freshers people, or some guys who doesn't want to take any hassle, then definitely opting for a trailing roadside assistant, or a backup vehicle is always a good choice. But
Understood.
remember that will,
Yeah.
yeah, but remember that will add a lot of expenses to your. If you are in a budget, then it will be tough. But if budget is not a constraint, then definitely you can opt for. And let me add 1 or 2 points for the luggage system, which already Dina and Minma has covered. See, I mean, if you are going alone, I mean, if you don't have a pillion, then don't opt for saddlebags. Okay. So if you are opting saddlebag, then it will make your bike wider. And if you have a wider bike, then maneuvering in tight corners in Ladakh region becomes very difficult. There will be places where there will be a convoy of army vehicles going, and overtaking them on the right side on that small patch can be risky if your bike is very wide. But if it is if it is a narrow, I mean, if you don't have saddlebag, then you can easily overtake the oncoming vehicles, or any tight corners, whatever is the tight corners, you can easily maneuver over there. And second is, don't opt for panniers. Panniers, as in your hard luggage boxes. Don't opt for panniers. Panniers is good for maybe highway, but not in off roads. Any hit. Why? I mean, if you hit anything or if you had an accident, if the pannier mount breaks, then you are finished. And a lot of time it happened. I mean, on one fall and the pannier mount broke up, and you are not you won't be able to bring the pannier back without tying. And if you're tying it, then I mean, riding the bike is next to impossible. Always
Sir,
off for.
then what you suggest if not a like aluminum box or not a saddle bag, then what you suggest, like tailbacks only?
My suggestion is always go for tailbag. Tailback,
Yeah.
I mean, it will be sitting on your pillion seat, and it won't take much space. It won't make your bike wider. And see, I mean, if it is a saddleback, what will happen? No, I mean, there are a lot of muddy terrains and all those things that will make the bag very dirty. Okay, first thing. Second thing, it will make it very wider. Maneuvering is difficult, and there will be chances that you will be hitting something nearby. If you are maneuvering your bike near a army vehicle, then your back part can touch the vehicle. There is one very popular video you can see in everywhere, it is floating. One guy is trying to cross a mountain with very big panniers, and his panniers just hit some rocks on its left side, and he fall to the
Yeah, he
gorge on the
goes.
right side.
Yeah, he goes toppling. And
So I would.
interesting part of that video was that his helmet also kind of flew off, right? Which was very surprising.
So, so there are situations when people forgets to tie the strap. So if
Yeah.
you're forgetting to tying the strap, then it's like not wearing a helmet. So when you're wearing a helmet, it is very important if you have to wear your strap. It should be religiously followed. So certain times those are not followed and mishap happens. You don't know when mishap will happen, but you have to be ready and prepared for it.
So
So luggage,
yeah.
yes,
Sorry. I was just saying that Gaurav and Ribu have raised their hands, so I think
mm,
we'll open up the queue for them,
yes,
and
yes.
they're looking to add something to it. I think. Gaurav, over
Okay.
to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Neil. I think I rather than adding a point, I wanted to ask a few questions to the panel and maybe to Satyajit, directed to Satyajit. This is with respect to I mean like as Rivu was mentioning about DIY, and of course the terrain is going to be very very challenging, right? You may face uh, you cannot predict the weather, as like you see the sun shining, but all of a sudden it's becoming dark and it starts raining, and you may find patches, you may see your bike is stuck at some moment. So what are the basic minor things that a biker should be aware of, in terms of DIY? Like you spoke about the puncture kit, right? What are other things that is more like uh, expected or anticipated, like the clutch wire or the throttle wire?
Mhm.
What are a few tips you can share, Satyajit?
Okay, so the first thing is, as the terrain is very rocky, there are a lot of water crossing, a lot of sandy areas. So definitely you will be rest assured. Some point of time, your bike will either fall on the left or on the right. You can't stop that. Somewhere it will fall. What will happen if the bike falls on the left side? Then your clutch, I mean the clutch lever will break. Usually breaks. And if the bike falls on the right, your brake lever will break. I mean the hand one, not the foot one. So it is good if you are carrying a extra clutch lever or a extra brake lever first. Second is, uh, if it is a normal bike, let's say it's not a ride by wire bike, so it has it your clutch wire, it has your throttle wire. Usually this clutch wire and throttle wire can break at any point. You don't know, they are quite unpredictable. So the best thing is you run down a cable parallel to the existing cable. Okay, so let's say you have your cable in place. You run down a parallel cable to your one for your clutch, one for your accelerator. What will happen whenever your primary cable breaks down? Then you can just tie the 2 point on the top and one in the left. So it will hardly take 5 minutes. It will be very fast. And if you're not doing that, then you have to insert the new clutch wire, run it, route it, then it will take a lot of time. So it will save a lot of time. Other than this, puncture kit, definitely you should carry a puncture kit. Puncture kit is the most important thing, and puncture might happen. One more big thing is you have to monitor the air pressure very well, because you are going from a low altitude region, and whenever you will reach the high altitude, let's say your bike pressure is 30 psi in the low altitude. Whenever you go to high altitude, this 30 psi will become 40 psi, because the overall atmospheric pressure is reduced. That's why the internal air pressure of your air will get increased, and your ride will become bumpy. So you have to watch it, and you have to reduce the air pressure once you reach a certain altitude. And once you reach back to Manali, then your air pressure will get reduced. So what it was earlier, it was showing as 30, then it will get reduced to, let's say, 25 or 27, as because the air pressure, the ambient air pressure in Manali is higher. And basic maintenance, you should need to know how to adjust the clutch play and throttle play. So clutch is very important here in your Ladakh ride, and you should definitely know how to adjust the clutch play and as well as throttle play. And apart from that, you should carry some basic spares like your spark plug, your let's say if your brake pads are not in good shape, maybe spare brake pads. You might need to carry a spare air filter. Why air filter? Because because you are going in a place where already there is a scarcity of oxygen, and your air filter is already, I mean, dirty, then it will restrict even a lot more of air. So if you have a fresh air filter, if you are changing air filter in the middle of some ride, then it will give some fresh air to your engine, and it will perform better. Those are the couple of things which you need to follow. There are a lot of things, but not everything can be carried. You have to rely on your luck, and you need to know where things can be sorted out. So there are a lot of places where your bike can be fixed. Basic things can be fixed, but if something happens inside your engine, that cannot be fixed. But rest outside part, everything can be fixed. So just know your bike, carry the spares, carry the breakable parts which can break, and uh, you shouldn't face any issues. I mean, even if you face issues, then you can fix it. Is that fair enough, Gaurav?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like before it goes to the Neil, I think just one more recommendation if you can share. See, this is going to be like uphill, and you're going to be losing a lot of fuel. And we had that discussion about, we should not carry any pannier or saddlebags. So I wanted to ask you, what about the jerry cans, right? That will carry the fuel. Do you recommend carrying, fuel in a jerry can, or what kind of a container,
Uh,
people should
if your bike has a top rack system, top rack, then you can definitely mount a jerry can on your top rack. But if your bike doesn't have a top rack, then you can carry fuel on a fuel bladder. And the third option is, if your fuel requirement is not that high, you can carry extra fuel in a Pepsi bottle, Pepsi or Thumbs Up bottle, 1.5 liter into 2, that means 3 liter, and you can put in your tail bag. So these are the way. Other than that, you don't need to worry much about petrol these days, because all major villages in Ladakh has petrol availability. It's not a petrol pump, but as because they are running their own vehicle, they stock petrol. You will get petrol in every major villages. The price will be little higher, but you will get it. Don't worry on the petrol.
Cool.
Great.
So I think we are in the last quarter of our chat today, and I see that Ribu has been raising his hand for a long time. So we'll quickly go to Ribu, take his question, and then we're going to jump right into with Diproda, and we're going to talk about the various permissions that you need for the Ladakh trip. And the one thing that I'm very, very interested in knowing is planning out the finance of the whole thing. So that's coming up next. So please stay tuned. Ribu, over to you.
Yeah. So I had one of the question which Satyada already spoke about, and that was about the panniers, like how it would be to carry the panniers instead of saddlebags or tail bag, and that was well answered. Apart from that, I want to add one point, like for the vehicles, if you're going with tube type tire, so mostly they face the issues of puncture, so they can put sealant in their tires earlier. I mean, before they start their ride to get rid of the smaller punctures that happens. Okay, that's one point. And second point regarding the luggage system, always try to carry lightweight or quick dry luggages. Stuffs. Say if you're carrying a towel, also that can be a quick dry towel, or if you're carrying your trousers, or if you're carrying your t-shirts, that can be like quick dry trousers or t-shirt that are light in weight. Like we already spoke about Decathlon some time back, and it's quite easily available there. Like you can carry. I mean, it's if you are having already riding pants, if you're carrying your riding pants with you, so it's normally that every day you will be riding in your riding pants only. So mostly the trousers that you are carrying, that will be to for daily use. Say you are going to somewhere, you rode to some destination, you took out your backpacks and all, you are planning to rest on there. So that time you are going to pick up your trousers. So that can be a very lightweight or very lightweight trousers that you normally wear in your daily life to keep your bags lighter weight. So quick dry and light materials are the most pickable stuff for your luggages. Yeah, that's thanks, Neela.
That's a great point. That's a great point about luggage. So, guys, we have spoken about, personal wear as well, whether it's your riding equipment, whether it's the clothing that you kind of carry as well, and also the luggage, things like petrol, etc., that you would carry in your backpack. Few things to remember right now. Maybe the need to carry a full-blown setup for carrying petrol is not needed because it's considerably available nowadays. Don't go for hard panniers or hard luggage. Stick to more softer luggage that can be carried easily, and ensure that luggage is not put in a way that makes your bike more wider, because you're going to find yourself in various narrow situations, maybe during overtaking on the bends, etc. And it's always useful to have a very narrow profile about the bike. Next we're going to talk about some of the permissions that are required. Satyada was mentioning about some of the permissions earlier, but we're going to do a deep dive with Diproda. Diproda, welcome to the show. You've been here again from the very beginning, very patiently waiting for your turn, but it's great to have you on the show. I believe you're riding to Ladakh on your Apache 310 RR. I also want to tell you that I am also an Apache rider, but I would have never thought about taking it to Ladakh. However, one of the reasons why I purchased my Apache was that I saw this video once, which was published by TVS, and this is maybe like 5, 6 years ago, probably even before that. And they showed that there was a professional rider who rode an RTR 200 and had the fastest time on a stretch in Ladakh. So TVS and Apache holds a record in Ladakh. I forget the name of the stretch, but to have covered that distance in the shortest amount of time. So, and you're going on a similar machine. So, welcome to the show. I want to talk to you about, like I said, permissions needed. But just because we were talking a little bit about luggage, and there, I at least didn't know that you can mount great luggage on the 310RR. I just want to know what are some of the hacks that you are doing on your bike, and then we're going to move into the permissions bit. Over to you.
Thank you, Nilanjan. And firstly, I would like to thank BBB to inviting me as a panel for the event. So, and I would like to thank everyone who people who have joined us online for this event. So, Niranjan, I mean, having a sport bike, what happens is, I mean, the options are very limited to you. Okay, so it's not. I mean, you need to, optimize your luggage. Okay, and I had a little tough time challenging, to choose what is the right fit for my bike. Okay, so as you know, it's a sport bike, and carrying, you don't have a lot of options to carry, too much of luggage. Okay, so so the options are very, limited outside. So then finally I eventually shortlisted, and I picked up there's a product from Viatara called as Hammerhead. Okay, so I in fact yesterday, so we had been for shopping, and then for me it was very important that I tried out. Okay, I just tried mounting different kind of a luggage system that is available, and see which is more easy for me to carry. And so again, like I said, so this for me it is always better to go with the tail bag rather than having a saddle bag and all. So being it's just a sporty bike, and it should be I should be able to handle it, manage it well. So it was quite kind of quite challenging. And then again, so it's just like two piece of luggage, like everyone said. So it is always better to carry a very limited amount of luggage, and go very light. Okay, so I'm just carrying one a 45 liter the Hammerhead, which I picked up for Viatara, and just a one small tank bag. And so that would be a basic preparation for me, and try to carry as much as light possible. And just carry only the basic thing which is required. So that would be my basic preparation from the luggage point, Nilanjan. And I think there is nothing much more I can carry with my sport bike, since that's a I don't have options to mount anything extra thing, so the options are very being limited. So it's just two piece of luggage that I would be carrying with me.
Very interesting. And I think, that's actually a good situation to be in because you're then consciously thinking of the kind of things you want to carry. You want to be like 100% sure about it. So I think that actually puts you in a great space to be very sure that, hey, I'm carrying the lightest luggage possible. That's right for me and right for my bike. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. We'll quickly move on to some of the permissions required. Now, of course, I think when you look up on the internet, this information is pretty scattered. Or probably you need to speak to friends or family who have done Ladakh, multiple times. But if we could summarize all of the different permissions that are required to do this journey, and let's say the time to get those permissions in place, all at one place here, I think that would be really good. So please take us through that.
Sure, Nilanjan. So, Nilanjan, I would like to try to keep it very, very summarized and precise on the permission part. Okay. So, with that, say, see, Ladakh is a place which needs no introduction. So, it's very famous globally around the world. People know about Ladakh, and it's a dream for every biker, specifically bikers, to come and explore the nature, the terrain, and they want to ride. So and of course, looking from that, so Ladakh is a place which shares its international borders with couple of disputed areas, like the northern part shares the border with Pakistan, and then southwest corner they share it with China. So considering those are kind of a more of a disputed international borders, so the safety of the tourist, the safety and the security is very important. Considering that safety and security, so the Ladakh and the entire district has come up, has some kind of a permissions. Okay, so basically there are a few places which doesn't require any kind of a permission, like for example, if you're planning to do a local sightseeing around Leh, Zanskar Valley, Suru Valley. So these are something very in the center of the Ladakh and doesn't require any kind of a permission again. But there are few places, some areas like Nubra Valley, Kardungla, Pangong, Toso. So I know so these are few places which actually are considered to be as called as restricted area or the protected area. And when you want to enter those areas, you would require some kind of a permissions. Okay, so basically there is a permission which they call it as a inner line permit, or in short it is called as ILP. So basically, it includes your basically three things that is covered under that particular inner line permit. So one is something called as the wildlife fee. Okay, so which is cost about around 400 rupees, and then there is the environmental fee which is about 800 rupees, and then there is another third which is called as Red Cross Fund. Okay, so the Red Cross Fund is basically an optional. Okay, it costs you 0 or 50. Okay, so either you select to pay a 50, it's a voluntary contribution, you want to do 50 rupees, or you choose to opt out or not to pay that 50, and it will be zero. So these are the three things which is included under the inner line permit, ILP. So now there are two ways where you can go ahead and apply for this permit. So one, definitely the offline process, which you need to apply from the DC office, which is the District Commissioner Office of Ladakh. Okay, so you need to just go there, and it's in Ladakh. So you need to just go and fill up a form, and then you can make the payment and you get the permit. And there is an option of online. So there is a website which is called Leh Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. So there is a website, so you can go online, and from online you can apply for this permit. And this permit can be applied as an individual, or you can apply as a group also, group of two or more riders. So you can apply it as a group as well. So this is the only permit which is required for you in order for you to enter the those restricted areas. Okay, and like Satyajit told that there would be a lot of checkpoints would be there. So it is suggested that you carry at least couple of copies, because you need to provide or hand over that copy of a permit. So every place, like in Nubra Valley, Khardungla, Pangong, so everywhere there would be a checkpost. So every time you enter a checkpost, you need to hand over the permit. So it's better that you carry the those permits in handy, couple of copies. Okay, so you would require that to submit it at every checkpoint. And of course, apart from that, it's always better that it's good to carry some of your important documents, like Satyajit told that there would be when you travel with your own bike. Okay, so it's better to carry your documents. Okay, so your Aadhaar card, driving license, your bike insurance, emissions, to keep those documents handy. Maybe a digital copy, as well as it's good to carry a hard copy as well, because those are the areas where you have a lot of network problem, and then you might not be able to access a digital copy. So it's always better that you carry a one original digital, as well as maybe a just a Xerox copy of those documents. Keep it handy. And apart from that, maybe few documents like maybe the owner's manual and all, which helps just in case you're riding and there's a issue with the fuse, and also it helps. The owner's manual helps a lot to understand what needs to be done and where the things are placed. So those are few important documents to be carried along with your permit. So that is the basic permits that is required. And of course, if there is any foreign nationals who are planning to do this right, so they have to visit the offline Ministry of Affairs, and they have to apply, because there are some special cases for foreign nationals for applying permit. So they have to visit the Ministry of Home Affairs office, and then they have to manually get this particular this ILP inner line permit. So that is not available for them either DC office or on the online.
Understood. And how much time does it typically take to get you the ILP? Is it instantaneous or you need to wait
It is
for
it is instant. Yeah, so in this it's instant. So when you do online, so you just go, you just log in. Once you log in there, it will ask for your basic details like your name, email ID, contact number, your Aadhaar number, and your address. Once you fill that form, and then it asks you that what is the duration. So what happens, just on the add to another point. So for an Indian national, the permit is given up to 1 month, which is 30 days. So the permit cannot be given more than 30 days. So the maximum duration of a permit is 30 days, and for foreign national it is 1 week to 15 days. So for example, if you're planning and when you're applying for ILP, so it will ask you to enter your start date and the end date. Okay, so that duration has to be within 30 days. It cannot exceed more than 30 days. So that is the maximum period you have been given the ILP for. So you can select your start date and end date, and then once you selecting the date, when you go to the next screen in the online, so it will ask you that would you like to apply for an individual or for a group. So when you select individual, it will be for a single person. When you select for the group, you can go ahead and add number of riders that are planning to ride. So you can enter their name, their Aadhaar number, and those details, and then you just make the payment, and you get you get your ILP permit copy on your email, as well as you can download it from the website as well. And then you can take multiple copies of it, and you can carry those copies before you start for the trip. It is always recommended that we apply for this permit through online, because offline process, what happens is there are a lot of people who are not aware of this, and they directly go to Leh, and then what happens when you go to DC office, you have to stand in a big queue, then you have to fill up the form, then it's a long process again. And definitely you don't want to miss out those time, because those are very crucial times. So you don't want to spend a lot of time in all this kind of a process. So it is better that if your dates are fixed and when you're traveling, it's better to apply it online, and you get an instant approval, the permit for 30 days, and you're all set for that.
Understood. I mean, that's something that I personally didn't know that we needed to do. But it feels awfully simple to do. It's almost like getting like maybe probably like a visa, maybe, for 30 days, etc. Could you also tell us the name of the website that you mentioned so that our viewers get to know where they can do it online?
So the website name is LAHDC, which is stands for Leh Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. So if you just type that website LAHDC, and then it will come up, the first link that comes up. It is for Leh Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. So you need to just log in into that, and you can just apply for the ILP, which is inner line permit. So again, you have once you log in into that, you have list of places that you would like to visit. So if you're planning to do complete the entire Leh, so you can select Khardungla, Nubra Valley, Pangong, and then whichever places. I mean, if there is some places that you are not planning to visit, you can uncheck those options, and if you're planning to visit all the places, you can select. So there is no difference in the pricing. So if the pricing, the charges are fixed, it's 400 rupees for wildlife fee, and 800 rupees for environmental fee.
Understood. So I mean, if there are no difference in charges, I think just go with the whole thing, get full paisa
Yeah, and
vasool,
it's
right?
always, yeah, I mean it's always better that you select all the places, and then I mean eventually if you want to explore some additional places, then you don't have to again apply for it. So it's better that you select all the places, and then you can this. So these charges are actually currently it's so the charges might changes at any point of time. Okay, so but currently for as of today, if you're trying to book, so the charges would be 400 rupees for wildlife fee and 800 rupees for the environmental, which will be around 1200 rupees, and your red cost fund, which is an optional contribution if you want to do it for 50 rupees.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diprada, for sharing that. Definitely a TIL moment for me, I'm sure for a lot of viewers out there. And while we were discussing about places to see, I think it's a great segue for us to head over to Rimuda, who's going to take us through the actual itinerary of the Bangalore Bong Biker riders who are going to Ladakh next month. So, Rimuda, over to you. Please tell us what's the different places that our riders are going to go, when are they going to go and things like that.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. In our itinerary for our Ladakh ride, so we'll be starting from Chandigarh. So from Chandigarh, our we should be starting from 3rd of June in Chandigarh, and our first stop would be at the Patni Top. Okay, though it doesn't really falls in the way to the journey to the Ladakh, but we intentionally put that point there because it's a wonderful view from Patni Top. I mean, it's a cherishing view. So we have a little bit of my detour there, but it's I mean thing to do, or it's a very uh, plus point to visit the Patni Top view from the hilltop. It's very beautiful view from there. So the next day we should be going from Patni Top to Sonmarg. We should be having a stay at Sonmarg to get a bit acclimatized with the weather or the climate. And then from Sonmarg, next day we should be traveling to Ladakh, Leh. So Leh, we have stay for 2 nights. I mean, 2 nights stay to get acclimatized with the weather of the Leh, so that we can easily carry forward the journey to the higher altitudes. And so, after 2 nights stay in Leh, we should be visiting next to Nubra Valley, Hundar, and that will be going via the Khardungla top. So that's one of the challenging route. Like we should be visiting Khardungla, then we should be going to the Nubra, and we have a point in that on the same day. Like if we are reaching Hundar or Nubra early from our estimated time, so will be visiting Turtuk and coming back to Hundar again. So Turtuk is some 85 to 90 kilometers from Hundar. So we are planning to have a visit to Turtuk, and the same day by evening we can come back to Hundar and we can rest the overnight there in Hundar. So before going forward, one point I want to say is the most important part of the Ladakh trip is start early every day. Like every day by 6 or 6:30, if you are able to start your ride, then you will be facing less complications on the journey, because as you delay the start time of your ride, then eventually you might be getting more water streams because the glaciers will start to melt, and it will I mean it will cause a problem for you on the ride. I mean the water stream which you might be facing, like it might be having 1 or 2 centimeters. If you delay your time, it might be going around 6 to 8 centimeter, and it will be a trouble time for you. So that's a very important point for us also. I mean we will be following this religiously to start every day by 6:30. Okay, coming back to the route again. So from Hundar, we will be going to after next day we'll be going to Pangong via Shayok, and that's one of the challenging road, that because we might be facing a lot of water stream or water crossing at that point on the same route from Hundar to Pangong. So we have planned for 2 nights stay in Pangong, but that all depend on us, because if we are feeling good or if we are not that much tired or worn out, then we might be taking 1 night stay in Pangong. Next day we will be hitting to Hanle. So that journey is very interesting because it's via 3 villages and you won't be getting much people there. It's you and you buy your bike and your group. So you might be seeing only these faces on the journey. So the next day we'll be reaching Hanle, and Hanle we have planned to stay for 2 nights because the next day morning, or the after first night, the next day morning we have planned to going to Umlingla, go to from Hanle to Umlingla and then again back to Hanle, because Umlingla is now the highest motorable road, because earlier it was Kardungla Pass, but now it is Umlingla Pass, which is the highest motorable road. So if you can, if you have that zeal, or if you have that body, I mean, if you don't have that uh, problem, or we don't have the fatigue in our body, then we will be going to Umlingla and back to Hanle. Then next we are going from Hanle to Somoruri. So that will be a interesting journey, because mostly it will be of off-road terrain. There won't be any tarmac, and the journey would be slower. It's like 150 on 160 kilometer, but it will be taking like 8 to 9 hours for the journey. So it's a quite interesting journey that would be. So from Somoriri, we'll be staying only 1 night in Somoriri. Then we'll be going to Jispa. So just now we are somehow we are descending from the Leh and we are going to Manali. So we'll be giving a halt at Jispa overnight. From Jispa, the next day we have a small interesting plan. Like, we won't be directly going to Manali. Rather, day we will be going to we'll be touching a bit of Zanskar. So we'll be going to Shingula Pass, and we might be visiting Gongbo Ranjan. Gongbo Ranjan. So that's one of the sacred. They have a sacred mountain as a sacred lake also there. So we might be visiting that. We have planned to visit that. So after visiting the same day, after visiting Gongporanjan and Shingula Pass, we'll be coming down to Manali. So in Manali, we have 2 night stay planned for, but um, we have a little bit change there. So instead of staying 2 night in Manali, we'll be staying 1 night in Manali, and probably we might be going from Manali to Kasol or Manikarant for its overnight stay there, and from Kasol to Chandigarh. So, once we reach Chandigarh, we will be giving our bike back to our warehouse so that it can be transported again to Bangalore. And the next day, we have our flights coming back to our workplace. So that's what we
Oh,
plan.
yeah. It sounds like, such a crazy adventure. I just want to ask you guys one thing. How do you guys get so much leave? It's around 14, 15 days. How do you get leave at office, or how do you manage it?
Yeah. So that depends on everyone, like everyone's office, everyone's manager. That's a point. Like, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like,
I won't say, because my office already provided summer holidays for me. So I will
I
be
think
waiting.
that's a very sensitive question, Neil.
yeah, I think I've always found this, that if you can convert your manager to become a biker or a motorcyclist, it really helps. You know, you can go along with your manager together. And,
In my
but
in my in my first ride, I have to sacrifice Durga Puja for visiting to Ladakh.
Oh.
oh,
See, you have to sacrifice something. You cannot get everything.
but I mean, that's a fantastic itinerary. I also learned a new thing, that Kardungla is no longer the highest motorable road in the world, and
Yeah, I mean, I will be really thanking Satyajda for bringing out this itinerary, because the Zanskar region that we might be hit. I mean, we have planned to just touch the Zanskar region. That's solely included by Satyajda, because he was more pushing that you should be seeing such things, because that's one of the greatest thing in Zanskar, because the we have seen such kind of photographs in a lot of reels, Insta reels on Facebook, and if we can include that in our itinerary, that will be very, very good. I mean, very plus point for us. So we have added that based on how our body replies. We should be taking our call. But until now, it's a wonderful itinerary, and it's a wonderful addition to that itinerary. Thanks, Satada, for that.
yeah, absolutely. I just feel like jealous looking at that itinerary, but I'm sure that probably I'll be there next year when we do this with Bangalore Bong Bikers. Now, guys, we are here almost at the end of our podcast today. We told you guys that we'll be doing this from 8 to 10. We have just crossed 10, but there's one very important segment which personally I wanted to know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know, and that is budgeting. Right, this will be the last section of our podcast today, and it's over to Satyada, who's done this ride countless number of times, and is also like sort of the chief planner every time Bangalore Bong Bikers does this. So, Satyada, in terms of budget, right? Could you give us in a very quick summary what is the kind of finances that are needed to do something at the scale of which you guys are planning to do in Ladakh? Over to you.
Okay. Okay, let me assume that you are a hardcore rider and you have all the riding gears at this moment, because adding the riding gear at in this budget, it
Yeah.
will
And you also have a
increase the
motorcycle that like you need to have a motorcycle.
quite
Yeah.
obvious.
You're not buying
I
one right now.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that you have a proper motorcycle. You are not renting one, and you have all the proper riding gears, helmets, gloves, and everything. Leaving that, the first thing is how to ship your motorcycle. So let's say you are staying in Kolkata, you are staying in Bangalore, you are staying anywhere. You have to either you can ride till the starting location, or you can send your bike via some sort of courier or train or something. So let's say you are starting from Kolkata or Bangalore. Let's assume we are starting from Bangalore, because all these riders here, yeah, they are starting from Bangalore. From Bangalore, they need to ship their bike till Chandigarh. Okay, so it can be sent via train. That would have been cheaper. It can be sent by some courier. It will be a bit costly. But even if it is costly, then sending via courier is much more easier, because they have a lot of other facilities which you won't get in train service. So for sending your bike via courier to Chandigarh takes roughly around 6,000 rupees. Okay, so this 6,000 rupees includes the bike packing, bike transportation, and they will allow you to set one carton of luggage where you can send your all sort of luggage, helmet, riding gears, and everything. So that you can fly to Chandigarh free hand, because a lot of times in airlines they don't allow carrying all these riding gears, uh, helmets and all things. They do some sort of chaos. So it's better if you can send all those things prior. So roughly around 6,000 will be required for sending the bike. That means 6,000 plus 6,000 to and fro, roughly 12,000. Then what I have seen in those areas, roughly per day per person expense for fooding and lodging is 1,000 rupees, considering it will be a 2% accommodation. Okay, so 2% accommodation per person roughly comes around 1,000 to 1,200. There can be much more better places where you can spend more, but this is the average one. You can in Chandigarh you can stay in a 5 star or 3 star or 2 star, but on an average, roughly per day per person comes around 1,000 to 1,200.
And this is
In
throughout the ride in Ladakh that you're saying it's
yeah,
1,000.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
Is
the
there
thing is,
any option to like camp there rather than maybe staying in a hotel or something like that?
there are a lot of places for camping, but I would not suggest. Why? Because for the entire day, you are riding, you are full of tiredness, you are fatiguedness, and at the end, if you're living in a tent or in a camp, you won't get a proper sleep, you won't get proper food, you won't get proper toilet or everything. So you need a very good sound sleep before the next day ride. If you're staying in a camp, those things can be possible. I mean, can be a toss. I would suggest not to stay in a camp. If you're camping, then it's better if there is a trailing vehicle with you. But if you're going all alone, then camping is not good. Moreover, you will need to carry a lot of camping gears as well. So you have to carry your own tent, if you carry your sleeping mat, sleeping bag. This will unnecessarily increase your luggage and you won't get a proper sleep. So camping is not recommended. Okay, so if you want to stay lavishly, you can stay lavishly in Chandigarh. You can stay lavishly somehow at Patnitop. Sonmark have basic accommodation. They doesn't have very hi-fi sort of thing. Then in Leh, you can stay in 1,000 rupees room. You can stay in 10,000 rupees room. That's up to you. But once you cross Leh, if you go to the remote side, those places have basic homestay only, and living over there is very cheap. So in most of the places, it comes around. If you're living in a cottage or tented sort of accommodation, they charges around 500 to 600 rupees per person per night, including food. And if it is a proper homestay, then it will be max 1,000 rupees. And if in Pangong, it will be, if it is a very good tent, there are some very good tent in Pangong where there is toilet facilities inside the tent as well, and wash basin and everything. So those tents are a bit costly, but if you are thinking in overall, then per day per person for fooding and lodging will be coming roughly between 1,000 to 1,500 rupees per person. So this is your fooding thing and fooding and lodging thing, and the permit already told by Dipra the permit charges, and after that from source to Chandigarh you need to take a flight. So whatever it is for flight charge, it will be maybe 6,000 odd rupees, and then 6,000, 6,000, 12,000 will be your flight charge, and after that left is your fuel charge. Fuel charge, I mean, it's the entire ride will be roughly around 3,000 kilometers. So your vehicle, the fuel economy depends on the type of vehicle you will be riding. So you have to think about that. And last, you have to keep at least 10,000 as a buffer money, because you don't know when your bike will be faulty. It might happen that you have to tow your bike, and for safeguarding yourself, or anything. If you want to buy some souvenirs, if you want to buy some gift or something like that, minimum 10,000 rupees you need to keep in hand. And majority of places, all the big places, they have ATM facilities. Like Chandigarh, you will get ATM. Patnitap, you will get ATM. Kargil, you will get ATM. Leh, you will get ATM. So in all those places you can plan your money, but once you are crossing Leh to the remote places, it's always advisable you carry hard cash. Okay, so that always will be a better option. Otherwise, it might happen that they accept Google Pay or Phone Pay at some places, but if there is no network, how are you going to pay? So it's better to carry cash money in the remote areas. And other than that, yeah, that's what I think. Did I
So,
miss anything?
all of the points that you mentioned, and I was like calculating it here,
Mm.
roughly around 62,000 rupees, or, depending on, let's say, the flight fares. I took it slightly on a higher
Mm,
side and petrol on a
mm,
slight higher side, but maybe like around 62 to 65,000 rupees will get you a good 14-day trip at Ladakh on your own bike. And you can
correct.
do that comfortably. And of course, if you're willing to do that, you can always join us next year with Bangalore Bong Bikers. I would much rather prefer to go with a group of experienced riders than do it myself, maybe the first time when I'm doing it. But, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for spending so much time today and sharing all of these interesting points with all of us. I do hope that everyone watching this video, has also found it to be interesting. So if you have, please do like this video. Share this with someone who wants to watch it. Subscribe to our channel, and as mentioned by Mrinmoy in the beginning, there are a lot of ways where you can connect with Bangalore Bong Bikers, either through WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So please come and join our community, and we hope to see you go on future rides together. Once again, if you like this kind of format, please let us know, because we want to do more and more of this going forward. But I think we had a great show today, and a big round of applause for everyone here on the panel. Thank you guys so much for joining, and it was truly an interesting show, and I got to learn a lot. I'm very excited to go on Ladakh trip with all of you guys very soon. You guys
Thank you,
can
everyone.
you guys
Thank
can
you,
say
everyone.
something.
Thanks.
Hey Neil,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you for hosting this BBB podcast live first episode, and hopefully, if everything goes well, we will be coming again some sort of things. We will be also coming for with some fun categories, like we have a ghost stories planned. Okay, and some experiences, some weird experiences that we have experienced in our rides. So a lot of things are coming up on our BBB podcast live sessions. Yeah, and thank you everybody for making this group family. uh, Thanks a lot.